because the other day I was in a little bit of a rush type of thing. So I do want to give you some good value today. But what I thought I would do is, because I'm not sure everybody really knows me, I think a lot of people do, but I might be taking that for granted. But so I'm going to do an introduction. Then I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my life because Marge thinks it's sort of fascinating a little bit. Then I'm going to talk to you about my business, what I do, and how it may be of some value to you. Then I'm going to give you an offer that you can't refuse, possibly. And then I'll have a call to action just so that you know what you might have to do if you're interested. And if I would normally have a question and answer period, but in this case, I don't think we'll be able to do that. So let's again, my name is Sandy Murray. I was originally born in Nova Scotia, 1943. So like, I'm an old guy, I'm 76 and I'm going to be 77 November 11th. But with regard to my story is, it's rather interesting because number one, I was a foster child. What I mean by that is my mom and dad, believe it or not, had 14 children. And of course, I was one of them. I'm the second youngest. I have a sister that is younger than me. But the situation was when I was 4 years old, I think my dad recognized that he could not take care of us. And also my mom had been in a mental hospital for a good number of years, actually. So he was struggling and he only drove a cab. So he was having a tough time of it. So what he did is at 4 years old, he took myself and my brother Laurie to the Protestant orphanage in Halifax. But before he could do that, he had to go in front of a judge and he had to declare that he could not take care of us. And the judge says, well, do you want to put them up for adoption? And in this case, my dad said, no, he just wanted us to be foster children. Anyway, my brother ended up going to the orphanage and he spent all his life in the orphanage. In my case, I ended up with at least 7 foster mothers. So the first people I lived with were relatives. They couldn't take care of me. The second person I lived with were rather nasty to me. They used to lock me up in the bathroom and take a rake and, scare the hell out of me. And they taught me a little bit about Satan. So I was very nervous that way. Anyway, at some point, just like you see in the movies, this car drives up and a lady actually gets out from the children's aid, and I get in the car and I'm leaving. And of course, I don't know where I'm going, but I ended up going to a lady called Mrs. Morris, and she had 5 daughters and she was a Newfoundland lady. Her husband was dead. So believe it or not, this was a way to get some income. Anyway, I ended up staying with her, and then finally she had a bout of cancer. She realized that she was not going to be able to take care of me. So she arranged that I meet my brother in the orphanage, and the plan was to keep me in the orphanage, and maybe somebody would take my brother and myself as foster children. But those are stories all by themselves to do with the orphanage. But so I would have been 10 years old when that happened. I spent quite a number of months in the orphanage, but I also ran away and I was able to get back. And I spent another year with Mrs. Morris before she passed away. Anyway, what happened was just on her deathbed, she said, listen, this particular, I was crying because I didn't know what was going to be happening. And she made the daughters all promise that, that they wouldn't send me back to the orphanage. So that happened. And so what happened then after she passed away, I just went on a roller coaster ride. I lived with all the Morris girls, but of course they're all married. They got their own family and kids. So you're always like a second fiddle kind of thing. At some point, about 17, one of the daughters that I was with at that stage, her husband, they'd just been married, and they were going to Ottawa, and they had to make a decision. Should they take me? Should they leave me? Whatever. But they decided to do that. They had to actually uh, take me as a foster child just to get me out of Nova Scotia, which I must say I really appreciate what they did at the time now that I think about it. Anyway, I got my education in Ottawa, and then, I came to Toronto, and I married my lovely wife, who's been fantastic, and I really, have just not enough to say about her because she's been my backbone. That's a little bit about my story, and I say a little bit because there's a lot more in there. But uh, with regard to my business, what you see here is it says that I position myself as an online business advisor expert. Now, the key thing here is right now, with COVID, the virus, is that, everybody wants to have an online business, or they have to, in some cases, convert their business to online, and they need to learn how to do that, because running a business online is completely different than running a business, brick and mortar type of business. So that's the expertise and that I have, because I spent a lot of years in the computer industry in general. But so I've got a lot of expertise in that particular area. So let's just talk a little bit about, sorry, I got to go back one. Okay, so what is it that I do? Well, the way I like to think of it is, I serve clients that want financial freedom. You hear people that, realize that if they had financial freedom, then they could, travel, do whatever they particularly like to do. It's sort of like a dream. Most of us have that dream. Some people actually live the dream and do that because of their financial situation. So, so I help clients build an online business. I help clients make money from home, so they do it in their own home. And how do I do it? Well, like anything new, anything to do with a business, you really have to realize that it's something new to you. So you've got to learn. So how I do it is I provide free training. That's the key. I provide free training so that you learn what you need to know with regard to running an online business. Here's a little example of, again, this training is free training. It's 8 free courses that, it talks about one of them, the game plan. You can see that there's only one lesson in that particular one, but that's like a foundation lesson. Then there's a successful mindset, which is really, there's 7 lessons on that, because without the right mindset to run an online business and, learning how to cope with failures and breakdowns and that kind of thing. So that's what that's about. Affiliate marketing is really what I do. Is people say, well, how do you make money? Well, I'm strictly a commissioned salesperson. And what am I selling? I'm selling the type of applications and the programs that you need to run an online business. So, and then you need to learn about lead generation, and then also, YouTube marketing, Facebook marketing, form marketing, and, also how to generate traffic, which is related to solo ads. Now, these courses, you can see they're quite long, but I just wanted to give you an indication of the type of course material. By the way, this material is always being updated and improved at all times. So, the bonus that I give to people is I provide free one-on-one coaching until you make your first commission check. Because until you have the sensation of actually receiving your first check, there's a lot of excitement that goes into that, because once you learn how to do that, it's just a matter of rinse and repeat. So it's very interested. So, but one-on-one coaching. But what I want to offer provide to the group here is that if you need help, if you have an online business, that's fine and dandy. But if you're struggling with leads, understanding your business, maybe your message, marketing, or your media that you should be using, that's where I can help you. So what I'm really doing here is providing you an opportunity to, my call to action basically is to feel free to call me on the phone, email me, message me, whatever, but just be proactive if you need some help. Put it this way, you know that there's somebody available to help you. With regard to the program that I offer, is the link is right here. If you go to this link, you can join up. Under me, I automatically become your coach. I know you've joined up right away. I'll send you an email right after that, welcoming you aboard and guiding you through, what are the best approaches to it. My comment to you is I save you time and money. So I tell you right away, put your wallet away. I don't want you to spend a cent until we understand when you're going to invest in something and why you're going to do it. So again, I just want to emphasize my call to action is get in touch with me. I'm available. I'm easy to get along with, and I'm certainly love helping people. As far as the question and answer period, at that time on the phone, if you decide to call me or talk to me on Messenger, on Facebook, I certainly will answer your questions there and give you the guidance that you might need. Anyway, that's about it. I'd like to wrap that up, and I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got some value from it, and I certainly enjoyed, doing this presentation. So I don't know.